Hello, everybody. It's Beth again from Core Conversations. I am here today to talk about the different types of urinary incontinence. There are three different types that we focus a lot on in the clinic here. The first one is stress incontinence, urge incontinence, or mixed incontinence. The first one I'm going to talk to you today about is stress urinary incontinence. What this is it's an involuntary loss of urine with any activity that increases your intra-abdominal pressure. This can be most common with people that have to cough, sneeze, laugh, jump, any activity that we're voluntary doing, but we're having loss of urine, we can't control that. Causes of stress urinary incontinence would be pregnancy and childbirth, just generalized muscle weakness that can be related due to aging, athletics with the jumping, the squatting, the pushing, the pulling, obesity, just because obesity, we tend to have more intra-abdominal pressure with obesity, so that can also cause stress urinary incontinence. There's some conditions that we can get as we get older that can relate to stress urinary incontinence, and those would be either Parkinson's or sometimes MS. And then there's also a connective tissue disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is essentially where you have your connective tissue is loose or lax, and so you don't have the structural support that you need, which then again, there's a link to pelvic floor muscle weakness, which again can cause stress urinary incontinence. The second type that we talked about is urge urinary incontinence. So this is a loss of urine due to overactivity of the bladder muscles. Dr. April talked about in one of our earlier core conversations about the function of micturition and how the bladder and the nerves and the pelvic floor muscles work together. And this kind of goes back to that, where it's just an overactivity of the bladder muscle. There's getting mixed regulation between what the bladder is telling us, how the pelvic floor muscles are working, and they all need to start to work together again. So this would be considered urge urinary incontinence. People that describe urge urinary incontinence will say there's certain triggers, usually cold temperatures, or they might get close to the door and all of a sudden they have the urge like, oh my gosh, I need to go to the bathroom right now. Or running water can be another thing that just, again, it's sending mixed signals to your brain, and that is what's triggering the bladder muscle to contract and make you have to want to go to the bathroom. Some causes could be bladder irritants, and this could include caffeine, alcohol, if you're dehydrated, which can make your urine more concentrated, which can irritate the bladder, constipation, improper emptying behaviors. So a lot of times people will train their bladder the wrong way because they don't want to leak urine. So they think, oh, I'm going to drive to town. I know I'm not going to be able to go to the bathroom, so I better go just before we leave the house. We call that just in case peeing, and that is also something we want to avoid because you're training your bladder to do poor habits, which can again increase your risk of having urge urinary incontinence. And then the last type is called mixed. So it's a mixture of stress and urge incontinence, as I described here earlier, that you will have symptoms kind of the same way, but usually it's you have it when you cough or sneeze, but you also can have it when it's cold, or all of a sudden it hits you like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom now. We can treat all three conditions, and we have great success with that. But I just wanted to pop on today and just give you a brief description of the different types of urinary incontinence. And again, just to let you know, like, it's treatable, we can help you with it. And we want to help you get back to your good quality of life so you can run and play and do all those things again with your kids and grandkids. Give us a call. Hope you all have a good day. Bye-bye.